Did you hear what's going on auction?
Go on.
Has nothing to do with Forest Fingers, but trying to find a segue for
There goes our PG rating.
it. So I saw here that Star Wars fans,
Mm-hmm.
meaning you, Brian. Okay, this is for you. You have the opportunity to bid on a C3PO head that was used in the movies.
I
The
feel like you're
head.
saying like this is for me,
It is.
and like I, I don't make that much money.
Dude, you have the option of maybe his foot, because apparently his feet and hands are going on auction as well.
What if they put the auction for his leg up and it's not red and it's not silver?
Silver?
It's like a gold leg.
Dang. I don't know. I just saw that they
How
had
much is the
a
head going for?
1.2 million is what they're assuming
No,
that it's going to fetch.
no.
What if it's
I
only like $200? It's an auction.
Yeah, I mean we talked about it on TanoCast a little bit of like collectibles, right?
Yeah.
C3PO never makes that list. I would never. C3PO is not something I would want to own.
You'd turn them off, wouldn't you?
I he wouldn't even be in the room. That's probably, dare I say, my least favorite Star Wars character in the entire
Okay.
Star Wars universe.
Okay.
But I mean, would you buy it for $200? I mean, that's a silly question.
C3PO's head? Hell yeah.
Is
200 bucks?
is it the screen used C3PO head?
So it says here that essentially it's the head, and basically it comes with complete light up eyes, and it comes from the personal collection of C3PO himself, Anthony Daniels,
Hmm.
who played C3PO in the Star Wars movies. So,
So can I put it on my head?
ooh, probably, I'm assuming. But it said that he has other pieces that will go to the right hands. He says, is the feet and the hands as well. So there's
Interesting.
we'll see, but I mean the auction as a whole is expected to go for like 14.6 million. It says there's a bunch of other like movie memorabilia as well. There's
Okay.
we have, it looks like, the Don Vito Corleone's coat from The Godfather,
Okay.
worn by Marlon Brando. It's expected to fetch 61,000. So C3PO's head's apparently more expensive than that. Nightmare on Elm Street. We have here a glove worn by Freddy Krueger, which is expected to sell for 486,000. Still not 1.2 million. Okay. We have some Blade Runner memorabilia. We have Indiana Jones bullwhip,
Mm-hmm.
expected to fetch 243,000. Nothing close to the C3PO head.
Yeah, I mean, when you list that, C3PO is definitely like the more iconic of the accessories, right?
You think
Especially
so?
if it's screen used. I mean, definitely.
That's what it
Yeah.
says. It says all of this is all screen used. So
Yeah, like
we
a
also have,
bullwhip, I don't feel like would be a conversation piece. Like, but if you got C3PO's head, it's like, oh, that's
well, yeah, so I don't think that's more so a conversation piece. I think it's more so believability. Like, if you saw somebody with like a whip and you're like, hey, that was used on the set Indiana Jones, you'd be like, sure, you just got that from some cowboy.
Yeah.
But if you got like C3PO's head and you like put it on, it's like, I am C3PO, human cyborg relation. You'd be like, oh my God,
Here's the
incredible.
issue I have with all this, right? Is that like we were at a Comic-Con a while back and I was
Mm-hmm.
talking with this group called the Droid Builders, and
Okay.
all of them had built their own R2 units. And I asked the
Oh,
guy like how much it would cost to build my own R2 unit, and he said at least bare minimum 25 grand to build my
okay.
own R2 unit. I
Like a
feel
fully
like
functioning R2
fully
unit?
functioning,
Uh,
moving, full replica size, like life size R2
wow. Okay.
for 1.2 million. I could build an army of R2D2s. And it makes me think I could maybe build my own C3PO for 15,000.
It's definitely something where it's like it's a collector's piece. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's a collector's item. It's something where somebody somewhere is like C3PO's his, you know, Ahsoka
What does
Tano for
the
you. You
does it say what the money's going to go towards?
Let's see what it says here.
My back pocket, says George Lucas.
Just says movie memorabilia auction.
So it's not even like maybe a charity.
And it's 1,800 pieces of movie and TV memorabilia that will be available for auction, held by Prop Store in London and
Mhm.
online between November 9th and November 12th. So held by Prop Store. Not sure, but it also says there's things in there like James Bond's tuxedo worn by Daniel Craig,
That's dope.
Leonardo DiCaprio's costume from Titanic, Michael Keaton's Batman battle damage suit.
Is obviously we're a Star Wars podcast, but I would buy that before C3PO's head.
What if it was
here's
like
the
Vader's
kicker.
suit?
But here's the kicker: it's probably his Batman suit from The Flash. It's not even like the original Batman suit.
It says Well, yeah, maybe it says Batman, like the original Batman.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if it was Vader's suit, that would definitely. It would have to be more. I would think Vader would at least catch 1.5 million up there as well. But like the fact that it's just his head is the weird part. Like it must be the head that like Chewie carries around on his back when like all the pieces are like blown apart. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not that iconic of a character, you know. Like for me, that's not the character that I'm like, oh, 100% I would buy that. Like screen used BB-8, yeah, I could see like 1.2. Screen used R2, yeah, I could see 1.2. C3PO's head, maybe 200, like closer to what we're seeing with those other props. I just don't see 1.2. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see in that time frame. We'll have to revisit that and see what it actually sold for.
Now, we talked about it on TanoCast, obviously, but like with the props we would buy. Is there anything in the Star Wars universe that if you had 1.2 to drop, you would drop it on that? Like you feel like that's worth it?
I would have to have a ridiculous amount of money to be dropping 1.2
yeah.
million.
Let me rephrase that. Let me phrase that. Like, is there anything that you look at the Star Wars universe and you're like, that's worth 1.2?
Well, I mean, for me, you're talking to somebody that doesn't have 1.2 to spare. Like 1.2 to me is like, if I had 1.2 somehow right now or could come up with it and they were selling like Darth Vader's TIE fighter, I'd buy that. Like real size, put it in my backyard. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody's like, yo, I could get Luke's chopped off hand, 1.2. Give it to me. Force fingers.
Well, and see, like, here's the weirdest part about this, right? Is that, like, you and I, you know this about me. I'm a huge King Kong fan. I absolutely adore King Kong. Mm-hmm. The original movie was a claymation. So they had the metal armature of Kong that they put clay and fur around. I just looked it up. The original Kong armature went for $200,000 at an auction. Wow. And I'm like, I'd 100% buy that armature before I bought the C3PO. And like, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, so like, I don't know. But
Kong's the main character in Kong. You know what I mean?
True.
C3PO is like a side character. Like, now, if you were saying like something,
but as far as like cinematic achievements, I put Kong and Star Wars in the same boats. That like, when Kong was in theaters, people were watching it and they were like, what is this, dude? Like, this is like King Kong was a horror movie when it came out. Like, people were terrified by it. Now we look back at it and we laugh. Whereas like Star Wars accomplished kind of a similar concept in the sense of like, they were doing things in that movie that had never been seen before. So I can understand.
That's true.
C3PO's head. Like, if someone was like, oh, the original model for the Millennium Falcon's going for 1.2, I'd be like, okay, I get that. Yeah, that's the model they used while filming. Makes sense. C3PO's head? I don't know. Somewhere there's like a massive like C3PO fan who's like, you guys.
That's a bargain.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Yeah, like even my my Carbonite. I wouldn't spend 1.2 million on a Carbonite of
Han Solo Carbonite. No, what if it was actually Harrison Ford inside Carbonite? You got to keep him too.
Like the actor is inside of the Carbonite.
Yeah. And he just had to say Star Wars lines whenever you wanted.
Yeah. I feel like that would he'd get pissed off very quickly with that arrangement.
Let me stab you in the stomach, Han. Get over here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. Mazel tov to the guy who's selling it. I hope you get the money you're looking for. But even as a big Star Wars fan, no.
That's what I'm saying. Let's revisit it. Let's see if it actually sells for 1.2.
Yeah, watch.
What if it only
We're all
sells-
writing it off, and it's like a $200, like you said.
That's what I'm saying.